like
It's
not
action.
be in bed.
Yeah, great stuff. Great.
For sure.
So, if you have your audio on and you're not talking right now, I would appreciate it if you would actually turn it down or mute it. If you don't, I will mute you, and I'm not going to do it in a mean way. Holy cow, Zaynep made it. Wow. This must be a Christmas miracle or something. And Alicia Warburton and Kenny, with Kenny bright-eyed and bushy-tailed just like Deneen. I love when the Californians make it. I always feel better about like I feel a little guilty, Deneen. Can I talk with you for a second, Deneen? There is a little bit of guilt that goes on with me about doing these things at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday, which is it was you and Kenny that kind of drove this home that we need to make it a little bit later.
Uh,
But
well, and when you first started, I was up dressed and ready to go at 6 a.m., but nah, no more.
nah, fuck that. You
Yeah,
know, we need to.
6 a.m.'s too early.
Yeah, too early now. We could just turn it on in the hide. I know I've got some people who see this in the shower as well. They're just they keep it on mute and they just come along, and that's fine too. We'll take them however we get them. That's great stuff. In any case, we're going to be getting on here. For those of you who are not just waking up in California time or somewhere else, and you don't have that much background noise, I really do hope to have some participation in this meeting. We're talking about neuroplasticity. And we're going to get into really what that all means. All of my topics are focused on one thing and one thing only. It could really boil down to some real important stuff. Um, and that is, what can you do right now to take this information back to your job, back to your career, whether you be in real estate, or if you're working in the entertainment world, or if you're working in any type of legal or marketing. We're having more and more people outside of the real estate world that are taking interest in what we've got to say here. What can you do to take that and immediately put it to use so that you could take it and make money? Mindset is huge. In fact, I've got a lot of people, a lot of friends who are into the whole Tony Robbins and who's the guy that acts like a monk. Anybody know who's the guy that acts like the monk? Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty, and there's all these. Oh, Zaynep likes like Jay Shetty. She's like nodding. Yeah. So
I was just gonna say it's Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty, and well, hold on, Zaynep. Tell everyone who you are, where you are, and tell us what some other these mastermind, these influencers are, like Jay Shetty, Tony Robbins.
There's Vision, Mind Valley.
Okay, Mind Valley. There's different stuff that actually goes on. I was never into the whole group hug kind of thing. And I thought a lot of these people were pumping out a lot of bullshit till it actually was something that had profound impact. And that is, I'll give you this very quick example, then we'll get to the meat of this. When I was a kid, I've got an older sister who's about just under 6 years older than me. And I was kind of her afternoon activity. She could either do her homework, talk to friends, or kick the shit out of her little brother. That was basically her thing. Now she would argue it. Unfortunately, Lauren, are you here? She's not here right now, so I could talk about her. Um, One of the things that I loved was watching Star Trek. Any Trekkies here? Could I see show anybody watch? Okay, a little bit. At the end of, and we're talking about the TV show from 1966 to 1969. They made 73 fabulous episodes. It was a terrific show. And at the end of the show, I encourage you to watch the exit credits on YouTube. You can see it now. Actually, Daniel, if you can find the exit credits from the TV show Star Trek, okay, you will be able and you can post this here. At the end of that, the very last frame of that show, there was this face of an alien that looked like this. It scares the shit out of me to this day. And I'm almost 57 years old. To this day, I can't watch it. Now, why do I bring that up right now? That's neuroplasticity. That was something that had a profound impact on me. Again, I was a little boy. This is the early 1970s. It was a rerun that I was watching. But it had a profound impact on how I actually face things and what, I would make sure love to watch the show, but was that episode on? Because I don't want to watch that episode. And I made sure that I didn't watch it. Now, where does my sister come into place? Well, I would watch the show with my sister and she'd say, "Oh, Ed, the face isn't there. The face isn't there. You could take a look. You could go, no, take a look. And when I opened my eyes, the face was there. scared the daylights out of me. And to this day, I have a emotional connection to that. And I thought about that quite a bit and how it actually applies to sales and how it applies to you guys. What was it about that that had that indelible impression? You could say the same thing about traumatic experience. There's no unknown fact. Somebody who survived war, somebody who was in a horrible car accident, someone who survived rape or abuse or some horrible things has an ongoing reaction to things. Some of you have said things like, I'd never do that again. Okay, neuroplasticity. The question is that everything I've said here has been, let me get this guy out of here. Sorry. Good opportunity, guys, to silence your phones. Sorry about that. So you got to be able to decide for yourself if it's going to have such a negative impact, that scary face on Star Trek, the abuse that people have had, the scariness that you've had from getting insulted by someone or humiliated by someone, or something where you're never going to do something again. Unfortunately for us as salespeople, or anyone for that matter, it's now carried into the stuff that you really should be doing. You should be making your sales calls, and a lot of you are not. Anyone want to refute that? Maybe, kind of, sort of. You should be doing certain things on a day-to-day basis in your business, and you're not. And the reason is that somewhere, somebody somehow taught you, be a good boy, be a good girl, speak when spoken to, don't go and rock the boat, don't say anything um, that's going to get you in trouble or going to make you rude or anything like that. And all that is great, except it no longer serves the purpose for a salesperson or for anyone in that matter trying to go and get something or make some type of persuasiveness. So, neuroplasticity in two ways. One, to try and convince other people to think a little bit differently. That's A. B, most importantly, to get you to think a little bit differently. So there's a bunch of things going on here. Let's see. I hope everyone got the workbook. Daniel, you put the workbook up for everyone to take a look at. Daniel's always great. Daniel's great, and he's coming to Florida next month. I'm really excited to see him. This is going to be fun stuff. Anyone in Florida, you could come have lunch with me and Daniel. I'd love to introduce the guy. So let's just take a look. I'm going to open this up. Where is the work? There we go. So let's just take a quick peek. The workbooks are fairly important because I really do want you to, it comes with your subscription to this, so I hope that you download it. We do put some time into thinking these things through and sourcing some great experts and materials when we put this together. Yes, we use AI to help us do it, but it doesn't negate the fact that it's pretty good content. So I hope that you're going to be able to do this. One thing that I want to talk about is habit and pattern. We'll get back to that screen in a second. Who has an actual routine? Deneen, I'm going to pick on you. Kenny, I'm going to pick on you. Greg Coggins, I'm going to pick on you. It's going to be a fun pick on, so don't get too scared. Deneen, on a day-to-day, first of all, tell everyone who you are and where you are, Deneen. I love seeing you.
Thanks, Ed. I'm in Newport Beach. I'm with Douglas Elliman. Been selling real estate about 28 years.
Newport Beach, California. Great. So you're one who have always viewed as pretty disciplined, pretty focused. You're always got a plan to go somewhere. When I get in LA, it's hard for you. I feel terrible because when I say, can we get lunch, but in Brentwood, I know that you've got your pattern, you've got your habits. Talk to us about that. What do you do on a day-to-day routine that you think makes you a little bit, makes you successful?
Mm, I try to use the mornings, but if the mornings don't work, it spreads throughout the day. I try to contact 10 clients, past clients, or new people a day. I don't always hit that number, but whether it's social meetings or whatever, I'm trying to get in front of 10 people a day, whether by phone or in person. And yeah, I work 24/7, so I'm
Okay.
always working.
Are you happy working 24/7?
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Good. Then
Yeah.
that's the main idea. So 10
Mhm.
people a day, would you say if you didn't make those 10 contacts a day, what percentage of business would you have?
Well, about 95% of my business is past clients, but I touch them with postcards twice a month. And then in addition to that, I do social media, not a lot, but a little. So I'm reaching out to all my past people, and then I try to follow up, I do phone calls in addition to the other touches.
Okay. But how much time is actually put into the calls?
Couple hours.
Okay. So it's a real commitment every day that you're saying you're
Hmm.
starting the morning, you're making your
Right.
10 touches. Are you actually getting in touch with those people, or is it, do you call a victory actually speaking to them, or is the victory leaving the message as well?
I leave a message as well if I can't reach them. And I usually get a phone call back
Okay.
at
Good,
some
good,
point.
good, good, good. So is it safe to say it's a driving force behind what pays you?
Fear of not having another deal is the driving force.
Okay. That's neuroplasticity as well. I
Hmm.
would rather be dictated by faith and not fear. I don't think that we work our best with a gun to our heads. I really don't. I don't think any of you do.
True,
But
but it's a
if,
good motivating factor.
if you had to guess, you're making your 10 calls. I would say that you're trying to do your 10 touches. You're doing it 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 4 days a week. What do you think?
Mm, five, but on the weekends, then I'm dealing with new clients at open houses or social events or things like that. So
Okay.
it's really 7 days a week, but I don't sit there and make phone calls on the weekends necessarily.
Okay. So the attempt is to speak to 10 people a day, 5 days a week, 50 people a week, 200 people a month. I'm going very broad. Let's make a
Mhm.
discount to say it's actually 150 conversations. Fair enough?
Fair.
From that, what do you think your deal flow is from that actual activity? You might not have thought about it. And I don't want you to create the answer if you haven't, but
Yeah.
you can think that through. I think the point is this: the people on this call right now, a lot of them are not making those calls because their history has not taught them. And you all need to hear this. Your history has not taught you that by doing so, you're actually paying yourself, that somehow people tend to believe that they're not going to be able to get from point A to point B by doing that. If I gave you uh, $20, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a lot of money, $10 to actually call 100 people or 10 people. And I could tell you you're going to get done with that in an hour and absolutely nothing's going to happen to you. Most people, if nothing else is going on, would say, hey, okay, I'll make those actual calls. How often do people slam down the phone on you, Deneen?
Oh, well, most of the people are people I know, so never.
Never. Good. So again, your history has taught you that this is a fairly safe call to make.
Right.
Okay, great. Since Greg just popped up in my feed here, Greg, can I make you unmute yourself for a second?
Sure,
Can you tell everyone who you are and where you are?
sure. I'm Greg Coggins, and I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. Well, actually, Summerville, just north of Charleston. And Edmund, I want to introduce you to my new friend.
Oh God, what the fuck are you doing? Oh my God, seriously, that was just mean. Oh God, serious, that was the face. Holy shit, why did you do that? I mean, oh.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
You really are. Wow, what a dick. Like, really screwed up that. Guys, if anybody dislikes the rest of the meeting from this point, it's because of this guy. Okay. I was going to say do business with him, but really, I mean, okay. I'm looking somewhere else.
Uh,
Okay, but he really did get the reaction. The truth is, there is something called the desensitization, I need to be desensitized to that. So fine, you want to do it? Do it again. Let's just see.
he's just sitting over my shoulder.
It's just that. Oh my God, that really it doesn't make sense. I mean, wow. If you could just see the sweat that's pouring. Thank you. That's much better. We'll leave it at
There
that.
we go.
Okay. There, guys, Greg is a bit of a friend, but believe me, I'm gonna send you like a box of like mouse traps or something. I mean, that was really, really harsh. But it does go to the point that that was something, that reaction that I had was authentic. And it is something that was actually trained. Uh, and I've been saying to all of you that we need to find a way to untrain it. Greg, talk to us. You're in Charleston, South Carolina, as I try and get my thoughts back together again. Tell us about, something that you may have a visceral reaction to the way I did.
Oh, wow. Wow, I have to think about that.
Okay. Do you make
I'm
sales calls?
not not a big fan doing sales calls. Yeah, that would be one of them. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of gorillas. I used to have I had, what do they call it? Night terrors, nightmares that resulted in night terrors about gorillas.
Huh.
So, but I've tried to push past that. But if I ever went in a zoo and they said there was a gorilla out, I'd probably freak out.
Okay. That's it. I'm releasing a gorilla in your backyard. Uh, but no, so you've got a fear of actually making sales calls?
I don't like making cold calls, and
Mhm.
it's kind of ironic because I know that the old saying of so many no's gets you to a yes, and you got to get through the no's to get to the yes. I still, I guess I have a fear of rejection, and a no or a hang up feels like a rejection. When reality is, it's just getting me that much closer to a yes.
It is getting you that much closer to a yes, which brings me nicely into the next point that I want to make here with this. And that is the next time you actually make a sales call, I want you to set the goal for no. Okay. If you're calling someone you don't know, you failed if the person says yes. Obviously, you didn't. It's a psychological shift. But if you're actually going for no, you're giving yourself psychological permission to be able to make this. This is not something that's going to change overnight, by the way, for any of us. Just as that face, now that you've done this, I'm going to probably put this back into my own stuff to expose it. You know, when I was a kid, my mom's when she was a kid, her dad died in a plane crash. And
Oh,
she always taught me the crash position and all of that. This stuff does weigh on you. And to this day, I get a little nervous flying, but I've gotten a lot better because of what psychologists would call exposure therapy. You keep seeing it, you keep facing it, and it's not that tough. Batman as a boy had a fear of bats. Bruce Wayne. He grew up. What did he become? Became Batman. So I do believe that we need to tackle our fears. And when I'm talking to my team, if the fear today is actually making a sales call, and that's going to be your goal from actually being broke and feeling like shit to actually profitability, we've got to find a way to get yourself over it. I used to tell my daughters, being shy gets you nowhere. And I made them follow up with, why do we assume they're going to love you? And if they don't, there's something wrong with them, not you. So that's one of the things. Go ahead, Greg. You were about to say something.
I was just gonna, you mentioned flight. I don't know that I'm a pilot, but when I was doing my very first in training, doing my very first night flight, I almost had what they call a CFIT accident, controlled flight into terrain. While I had the controller telling me airport should be in sight, I couldn't see the airport. Fortunately, I had an instructor with me, and she realized that there was a hill between us and the airport. So we needed to get above that hill in order to see the airport, like the controller was telling us. But we came very, very close to hitting that hill. And so I have a bit of a reaction. I don't know if I'd call it visceral, but a reaction whenever the controller utters those words, field in sight, question mark, or call, field in sight, then I get this feeling in my stomach that takes me back to that first night flight.
Sure. Okay, so all this could relate. It's funny because I bring it up as fear. It's also faith. It's also belief. You know, if those that have an unwavering focus and unwavering belief have had the same thing, the exposure therapy to the level of success. This meeting, by the way, is not that tough. We're going to get to some AI stuff as well, I promise you, because everybody loves coming from my AI stuff. But it is something that I want you to reflect on hard, because sometimes the boring stuff is really what makes you the money. And I really want all of you to truly think this through. We could relate to it from traumatic experience. We could relate to it from shyness. Go ahead, Greg. You were about to mention.
I was just going to say one more thing. For the country club Halloween party this year, why
Mhm.
don't you go as that alien?
It's an idea. If I could get that mask, I probably will. I just have to do a bunch of things before I get over it. Again, makes no sense. Phobias really don't make much sense. They really don't. That people just don't understand why they as of I think there was 210 phobias that they have. You know, some phobias that you might not have heard of. Catophobia, fear of hair. Okay, I don't know why some people will shave their bodies because they're actually fearful of hair. It's a real thing. You've heard of claustrophobia, fear of enclosed places, agoraphobia, the opposite of claustro, fear of wide spaces. I look at my dog and I look at her and I say, I evolved too far. I should have stopped when I was evolving with you. You're cute and fabulous. You don't hate anyone. You don't cause any wars. You're satisfied with everything. Your life is perfect. It's abbreviated, but it's perfect. I think we went too far as humans. That's one of the things that I could say. Eitan, welcome. Good to see Eitan here. He's in Miami. So, let's talk now about the opposite of the fear, the faith, the belief, the being able to go from point A to point B with all of this. Who puts into their daily routine who would feel weird if they don't do a certain thing in the morning, whether it be working out, whether it be prayer, whether it be sales calls? I let anybody throw that out to me. Kenny looks like he's about to say something, or Zainab is about to. Actually, Zainab and then Kenny. Go ahead, Zainab.
Pilates, definitely. I have to check that off my list. Cleaning, that's like my meditation. I clean my home and prayer as well. All three of those. Not sales calls, but it takes all of those for me to find my flow and then even speak with humans and call my clients and whatnot.
Okay. And so all that how does that actually help you sell? Does that ever kick in and you're not going to be able to do
You know,
this
I have
until
this,
those are
I
completed?
have this, I have this inherent belief that when I'm in my joy, good things come to me.
Yeah.
So I kind of go on that track that good things are coming to me when I'm in my flow.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And I think you are right. By the way, the science behind this, I would encourage, Daniel, help me out here. I'll need to, if you could look up, if you have the time, I wish I had this before the meeting. There was a Harvard study that says if you are a charitable person and you give for every dollar that is given, you get about a dollar 60 back in either productivity or sales. So look up that. I'm misquoting it right now, but if you could find it and then put the link in the chat here. Now, why is that? There's a variety of reasons behind the study, and I don't want to paraphrase something that I'm not 100% quoting properly here. But the most charitable people in the world, more often than not, also happen to be among the most content and the most successful, and the ones that if you'll see big names on hospitals and all of that. There's a part of the reason that they're like that. There's, yes, they have the money, and yes, they're not going to die broke. They might as well get the Leon and Toby Cooperman wing at the Boca Regional Hospital. I know this because I know the guy. But there's something behind that. Once again, this is your brain actually in action. This is actual stuff that goes on within you that when you're actually giving, you're creating a vacuum, either of yourself or your time or whatever it might be. Let me give you some simple things right now to get you started. If you fear that sales call, just make one a day. Just right now, commit to doing it. And then, when you come back next week, I want you to make one connection a day to preferably somebody that you've never met, don't know, never saw before. Just one. As much as I love technology, all these people who are, I don't know if my single people are on here, they're swiping. You swipe right, swipe left. When I was single, you had to actually go and introduce yourself to her. And guys who did it, women who might have done it too, you will get rejected. Just as sure as the sun will rise. You will get rejected. Not everyone is going to find me absolutely irresistible. I still can't figure out why. But they are crazy. I am irresistible. They really should love me. But the point is this, that if you had that unwavering belief that, one of the things that when I was shy and when I had a hard time approaching, the thing that I actually realized, and there is a connection between interpersonal relationships and sales, who wouldn't want to have dinner with me? Okay, might sound terribly arrogant, But what would be the logic? I started intellectualizing it like a logical thing. I'm not saying sleep with me. I mean, I thought it. But I'm not saying do that. I'm saying I had this blind assumption that it was going to actually work out, and usually it did. Usually it did. So if we could take one thing again from this meeting, blow it up in your mind that you're going to, try, try, try. If it works out, you got to throw a party. And if you fail, who cared anyway? That's really one of the things that we do. It's about creating relationships. Okay, so this, Daniel, you put in the heart, looks like an Instagram post. Let me just see what he had here. Okay, well, so this was Daniel, if you could actually find the report, it's good that you got this. Arthur Brooks, Harvard professor, dropped mind-blowing stat that for every dollar you give, you could get back $1.60 in future earnings. There's something to this, guys. I want you to start to think all of this through. I said to somebody, they said, well, I've got someone who wants to buy $1 million home. Can you give me 25%? Anybody ever get that from someone who's a non-broker? Can you give me a commission or give me some type of kickback? And my response is, I can't put it in writing, but if you have a favorite charity, let me know. I'll make a generous donation. Well, how much? I can't tell you, but you got to believe that I'm an honest guy. Why? Legally, I can't. Legally, at least in the state of Florida, unless you have a real estate license, I can't give a kickback or a payoff or anything of that sort. But I can, on my own free will and accord, make a charitable donation. And I've done this several times. When it was in one case, it was a $30,000 gross commission. I had my cut. I gave 25% of what I was going to make. $8,000 I gave to the charity. I thought that was pretty, I don't know, but you got to actually decide if that's going to be the way you want to actually run your business. Most people don't, but the ones that do really do win. Okay, so take a look at that. Let's also take a look at the booklet here, making clear decisions under pressure. This is going to happen for you when you actually have a blueprint for what you're going to do today. Does everyone write out the 3 things they're going to accomplish every single day? Okay, Deneen says yes. Deneen, we knew you were going to say yes. I'm so proud of Deneen. She's great. The 3 things that you're going to accomplish each and every single day, come hell or high water. And one of those things, I didn't do it yesterday, so I have to do it today. Write 1 handwritten note. Even in the busiest times, no matter what, you got to write that 1 handwritten note. I try and go for 3, but no matter what, I'm going to get 1. So today I need to do at least 2. Hopefully I'll get to more than that. But you need to be able to do that in order for you to see the consistency. For every handwritten note I send, and I've tracked this, I get at least 1 out of 7 responses. So for every 7 letters I send, at least 1 person is calling me back or saying something. I know this because I just track it. It's something that's on there. So I know that by the time I get done with my 7th note, statistically, I'm going to get a phone call from somebody. And usually they think their place is worth too much money, or they think a woman came up to me yesterday in the club. I don't know her name. I've seen her around. Most of you know I live in a gated country club community. God, Ed, how much weight have you lost? I'm like, oh, over the time, cumulatively, 115 pounds. She said, you look amazing. I'm like, very, very sweet, heartfelt, nice person. I'm writing her a note. Nobody says, A, it made me feel good. And B, I'm sure other than bills, nobody gets a note anymore. It's such a unique little gift for you to get in the mail. It's such a nice pick-me-up. It's a nice thing to do. Nobody sends them anymore. I've got my stuff. Something to think about. So emotionally regulated during high stakes negotiation. If you know that the probability is that you're going to fail at something, here's a strategy to help you along. If you know that the likelihood is that it's going to be no, I hear this from all of you. Oh, I would start marketing, but I'm up against blah, blah, blah. That's the number one. Every neighborhood has that bastard. Every neighborhood has that person who's going to be ahead of you, and they seem to be unbreakable. And everyone always says, oh, you're going against blah, blah, blah. You're going against that tough person. This is what you do. You just say to yourself, there's a strong likelihood that I'm going to fail. But even in the worst scenario, even in the greatest communities, there's always the person that's against the top guy. Isn't that the truth? There's always the person that feels that guy screwed them. He screws everybody else. He or she makes the property values way too high or way too low, or they come up with something. There's always, I wish the world existed where everyone thought one person was amazing. There's not. Somebody's going to always be a hater. Lean in on that. Very, very important. when you're actually faced with the complex problems, focus in on them. So what do I mean by that? When you actually have a complex problem, to take the time and really break it down into small, manageable chunks, you're going to find a much greater level of success in the work that you do if you stop and think about the complexities. The complexities are where the opportunity happens. My $10 million listing here, which by many measures could be overpriced, people say, well, how much are you spending to market that property? The truth is $7,000 or $8,000 I'm spending. Wow, that's a big risk. That's what I signed up for. That's why I signed up for it. If it was easy enough to put it on Zillow, we wouldn't have a job. You want the failure rate in real estate. I hate to break it to you. You want it to be tough because if it was easy, it wouldn't be easy. You'd have, there's a reason Deneen consistently makes the money. It is never easy. You have to go through this in order to get to the prize. That's important stuff. I want everyone to look at it. Anyone could jump in on this if they want. Setbacks, recovering quickly from it. One of the Yogi Berra, baseball legend, was once asked, what is the one thing that every baseball player needs to have in order to succeed? And he said, a damn short memory. It was a really important thing. Keep it a damn short memory because when you failed at that one thing, you're going to go get back up there. Most of you, unfortunately, go, I failed before, so therefore I'm going to fail again. We are negatively wired. Instead, if you actually looked at the time that you succeeded, what if you succeed? What if it actually works? One of these things is eventually going to work. Your history should have taught you that already. If you've been in the business for a few years, I know, even though I don't feel like that today, and today's a good day, especially since Greg was good enough to show me my childhood nightmare. I know statistically I'm going to make a certain number of sales because my history has taught me that. Unfortunately for me and all of you, you're going to lean in on the failures and not the successes. You need to just say that to yourself on the worst day of doing this. My history has taught me that time is on my side, that you've got to be able to take a focus on that. Okay. Guys, I really hope that you look at the workbook for all this because this is really big stuff. Here's another thing for you to think about. ChatGPT. You knew I would get to ChatGPT, right? I've mentioned this in past meetings. If you are not role-playing with a friend because you feel like a geek, Tinka's not here, but we've not had the time to do it, but we had role-playing sessions on a pretty regular basis. We would call each other up in the morning as if we were making that sales pitch. And not even with that, hey, this is Tinka Ellington with Douglas Elliman Real Estate, or hey, this is Edmund Bogen with whoever we're actually speaking to. And we would go through the pitch and we would both give the likely responses that we would have. Safe, controlled, she's a good friend, she's not going to hurt me. It's something to actually learn from. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that great? Good news. You're embarrassed to even do that with a good friend? Here's the solution to help you along. ChatGPT, baby. All of us have it. So you can now say the standard that you want the computer to respond to you in, and you could make up, Daniel, remind me to put this out later. I'm going to make up a prompt to give to everyone. Don't have it. I've got it somewhere, but I'll have to give it to you, where you could make a role play with your worst nightmare. You can make it with the ChatGPT. Since they now are multimodal, meaning they speak, you're able to actually speak, see, do all sorts of stuff. You could set the AI up to be what you consider a very difficult client to sell with. And if you commit yourself to just 5 minutes a day of arguing with your computer, don't do it in front of friends. Don't do it with people who are going to mock you. It's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to be neuroplasticity in the wrong way. They're going to now tell you what a jerk you are, how stupid it is. I'm a top producer. I do it. Sonata Adzem this year might do $330 million in sales. She does it. Okay? The biggest people in the world do it that make a lot more than you, I, and everyone else. If it works for them, it's probably going to work for you. So, I would never mock anyone for trying something to make their business a little bit better. I think it works and it works really well. Role playing is huge. What are the triggers aside from my scary face that was thrown off there? Is there a trigger that actually gets you in the mood for anything, to get you in the mood to sell? Is there something that will actually get you over the hump? Let me talk about time and pressure. April 15th just came and went. Who prolonged the time that they needed to actually get taxes done. I'm sure I'm the only, thank you, Alicia. Alicia, like, I'm a little scared. Yes, it's human nature. We prolong those things. Now, aside from Greg, who looks like the kind of guy that got it done months ago, and maybe Deneen, I don't know. I let this thing go. And I think a lot of us do. Why? Because there is some type of time pressure. How do you recreate the time pressure to be able to win? Is there a way that you could actually frame the time so that it makes you and puts you into a mindset to be able to get things done faster? Write it out. Think about it. You'll be able to read this in the show notes here when we send that into you. Important stuff. What are some other things that you're going to be able to get? Remember, your brain doesn't really know fear. It just knows what's actually been put into it. Some of the relaxation techniques, the scientists, and I would encourage you to look this up, have said without a doubt, you cannot you cannot have any type of emotional fear if all of your muscles are relaxed. Did you know that? It is physically impossible for you to be scared if you have complete relaxation in all the muscles. Any tension actually builds that. That's why drugs are so addictive. People don't like the way they're feeling. It really truly numbs you out that you're able to do this. Before every one of these meetings, I feel what most of you would call stage fright. Believe it or not, I get terrified before I come on here. I really do. And I need to go through a certain set of exercises to be able to get myself in the mindset. And one of the biggest ones is my history has told me that while I'll see some people leave, or some people have made some comments like, well, that meeting wasn't so great. Of course, that's the one thing that I hear, not, oh, Ed, you did a good job. But my history has taught me that I make it through these meetings pretty well. And after probably 1,000 of these things by this point, my history has taught me that we're going to be able to do this and do very well. Try and make some type of reference point to when you succeeded. That resonated with Kenny. He just gave me the thumbs up. I'm happy that when Kenny gives me the thumbs up, that was fun. Kenny, Kenny and Deneen, I will be visiting my daughter at some point in California. Kenny, I had a great breakfast with you. What was that place? Tartine, I think. We went to a place in Santa Monica. Fantastic. And Deneen, I will schlep out to Newport Beach because I owe you. But if you do make it in, I'd love to have you there. Any of my Californians, I'd love to get together again. Okay. So go through this workbook. I think it's really important. I think it's really important that you actually take time and reflect what has been the times that you've succeeded and what have been the times that you failed. You're going to feel emotionally more compelled to say, look at you, you failed, that's what happened. If you actually take a journal of all the things that you've succeeded on, you'll recognize that you got a lot of reference points. You need to do this before you make those sales calls. You need to commit to making at least one connection to someone that you haven't met with before, ever. I don't care if it's the delivery person from Robles Pizza, or preferably a billionaire who wants to buy a ton of real estate or sell a ton of real estate. But I don't care. If you get into that habit of being able to capture these people, the cumulative effect is just remarkable. It's one new person a day. I'm giving you 5 days a week, 20 new people in a month, 60 new people in a quarter, right? 240 new people in your database in a year. These things add up very quickly. And what you'll be able to find is that your history will soon teach you that all these efforts really did work. Important stuff. You got to love and nurture yourself in order to make these things work. We beat the shit out of ourselves all the time, and it's wrong. It really is wrong. There's got to be that blind assumption that you're going to win. Because what else is there? I don't have much that I really care about. I care about my kids. I care about my wife. I love my dog. Sometimes she's my favorite. I care about all that. My home, I love my home, but you know what? If I didn't have it, I'd get used to it. I'd go somewhere else. I just don't think that there's that much going on. On the short trip that we've got, you better love it and you better go for it and better just, suck the marrow out of life and really take a strong look at why you've been slowing yourself down. So this is the assignment that I have for all of you, if you're willing to take it. Write down, keep a journal. What is it that you fear? And how do you do it first in the day? How do you jump into the things that really, truly bother you on a day-to-day basis and really tackle it head on? Maybe it's taxes. Maybe it is. I had one person who said to me that he was a client and he's become a friend, and he was with the same woman for years. And he said, "Yeah, I decided a couple years ago that I wanted to break up with her." I'm like, "Oh yeah, so did you get a new girlfriend?" He goes, "No, I'm still with her." I'm like, "Okay, you just said you decided a couple years ago." He's like, "Yeah, but I don't know." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean you don't know?" It's like, "Well, she'll get so mad." I'm like, "Wow, she'll get so mad. This is your life." But guess what? That's not so rare. A lot of people really genuinely feel that way. I've had, I had a potential listing here. Ed, I like you. I think you're the better realtor. I think you're a great guy. I love hanging out with you. You're terrific. But if I don't list with this person, whose name I will leave out here, he's going to ruin my social life. I'm like, you're moving out of state. How the hell is he going to ruin? He was scared to face. Has anyone ever witnessed that before? That somebody's scared of another broker, so therefore they're going to give the listing to that. I've heard a few of you say that. Yeah, you've seen anyone? Jump in right now if you have. Jump in, Greg. Unmute. Go ahead. Jump in right now. Come on, come on, come on. Got to click.
I
Bottom.
I've
Click.
got it right now. I've got
Okay.
a client. I've got her listed, so I got her past her fear. But she calls me twice a day. Uh, but yeah, she was very afraid that if she didn't list with the same person that she bought the house from, that she didn't like, but that they were going to spread bad word about her all over town.
Hmm.
She's moving out of town.
Yeah.
So why she cares, I don't know.
This is money, guys. This is something I want to let you in on a little secret. All of us have that problem because human nature is the same, whether you're in Newport Beach or Boca Raton. It is the same thing. You're going to have people that actually will do business. So lean in on it. I used to be like, oh, well, somebody said to me, Ed, I was going to, and is Dina still here? No, Dina's in a meeting. We had a 3-hour meeting with her. Everything was going great. And she listed with the other guy. Why? Because she was scared of him. That really was, and she even said that, oh, can you please tell not if you ever come in with someone, don't tell them that we had a listing appointment. She was scared of the guy. This happens more than you think. So somebody recently, and I got the listing, they just said, well, I know if I don't list with this person, they're going to be really, really angry. And I used to be like, oh, that's ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, I will too.
Yeah.
Why? Because I care now more about getting the deal. If that's real, I won't be. I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. But if that's really going to be the differential, and guess what? I got the listing. Ridiculous. No more Mr. Nice Guy or Miss Nice Guy about all of that. A huge percentage of your people will actually do business with somebody they don't like because they are scared not to. It is the fucked up, most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, but it is the truth. So just if there's anything that you've taken out of the meeting, be aware of that. A couple of you, I know I'm going to get a call from somebody in a week or two. Hey, Ed, I got the listing, because you got to lean in on all that stuff. Okay, 12:44. Oh, Kenny, go ahead. Kenny's been
Yeah.
very quiet. Kenny,
Yeah.
you're a good doobie. What's
There's
going on?
like, there's the two agents out here that, that if like, there's one that, they wanted to buy a listing he had. And he said, if you don't list your house with me, you're not going to get it. And there's two agents like that. There's an agent out here that's great, Tammy Pardee. She lets her buyers and sellers donate to a charity of their choice. But she's got it on our website. If you go to Pardee Properties, Tammy Pardee, and she's got the list of all the charities she's donated to out of each escrow that her clients have chosen. So it's a great tool to do that way. I put the plane up there because I'm in one of those. It's Pitt Specials. I put that up there for Greg. Those are stump pilots I used to work with. I used to do their PR. There's a lot of stories here. But I've known some of the people from Star Trek. I've had Leonard Nimoy over to my home in Chicago for drinks because he used to have a girlfriend in my building when he was married in LA. So, but no, there's a lot. There's so much. Joe Dispenza on neuroplasticity. I do a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah, with your background, it's hard to see, but why don't you
let
in the
me
chat?
I'll get rid of my just go plain here.
So long as
But
you don't.
Joe Dispenza, to break the habit of being yourself. This is the neuroplasticity. I just came from a men's weekend. I do a lot of either volunteer work or personal growth work. Half my morning, I'm up at 5 o'clock on a phone call for 5 or 10 minutes. It's 5:30. I'm meditating. I read a book a day.
Good.
Basically how I do that. There's an app you guys got to go to. It's like 20-minute books. It's on YouTube. Go to Brian Johnson, Optimize Me. He's read like 500 books, and I just pay $10 a month to listen to him or get the videos. Now he's created a thing called Heroic, which is a whole program, a real intense coaching program if you want to be a coach. So, but there's a lot of, I try to be well read. A lot of my business came from face to face. I'm in a restaurant every morning somewhere. I'm not doing the business I used to because I moved out of LA.
Well, let's keep it to its topic. Any other point on that? Because I do want to make sure.
I'd say, just face to face. I do open houses and face to face with people and, buy them coffees at wherever. And, but I got to get on the phones. Right now I'm doing time blocking and doing phone calls with my wife because we're in another program to buy properties for ourselves. So we have to write offers every week on this program we're in. So that's what.
So I'm glad you brought up time blocking. I mentioned my favorite time block mechanism is called the Pomodoro technique. 25-minute times actually set. I need to do 3 Pomodoros a day. So it's 25-minute blocks of time where there's no interruption whatsoever. Not from my wife, not from my kids, not from Daniel, not from Eitan. I just don't want anyone to mess with me in that time. And what do you do in that time? Well, it depends upon what you actually set. In that time, I'm going to get my letters written, or I'm going to get my calls made, or I'm going to do something. What I'd like you to do is consider that time blocking. And again, Kenny, glad you brought it up, because I want you to stop and think through, just like some of you have said that or Zainab said before that she needs her Pilates and she needs her prayer and she needs her cleanup. I want you to get to the point where you've got 3 different times that you're going to feel uncomfortable. You did not complete the day unless you went through those rituals. You could do anything in 25 minutes. Anybody could commit to just 25 minutes. Any of you could commit to meeting 1 new person a day. Any of you. Any of you could commit to speaking to at least 1 new realtor a day. You want to call somebody nice? Call Deneen. She won't hang up on you. Deneen, will you hang up on anyone? No.
Never.
Call Deneen. Call Kenny. Daniel's going to put the map out on here so you could get their number. If you really want to get a habit of this, call them up. Deneen, oh, hi, why are you calling? Oh, it said to call. And she'll be like, okay, great. That would be it. Just start to do small things to be able to get into that mindset, because the winners are doing it. If it's good enough for them, it's got to be something to it. Look, Kenny put his number there. Look how much Kenny wants to make a friend.
Yeah, well, and
He's
you have
lots of fun. Kenny, I bought him a muffin or whatever it was, a tartine. Grand old time. Him and Victor. Victor's not here, but it was good.
You even have another agent as an accountability partner. And when you do those 3 things, do it. I've got a guy, it's in Chicago, actually. So I've been talking to him daily now at the end of the day for a few minutes. Did you get your shit done? And only pick 3 things because I got 20 on my list, right? So you better just not overwhelm yourself so you get nothing done.
Some more wants, needs, and brags. This is the time in the meeting where I like to get to what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. This is kind of freestyling here. Deneen gave her number as well. This is freestyling here. Who's got something that they want, they need, or they want to brag about? Again, it could be that my youngest daughter just finished her first year of college. I'm very proud of that. So, see, it could be anything. Alicia just put her face here. Is she going to unmute and say something she wants to brag about? Is she hiding? Is she not? She's not going to do it. We're going to work on that neuroplasticity by getting her to unmute. Is it going to work here? Maybe. No. It's not going to be that. But Sam's gyros and kebabs. I don't know where Sam came from, but that's good to see you. Everyone likes a good gyros. No, he's not going to say anything. Greg?
No, I'm here. Good seeing you too, guys. I'm in Colorado.
You're in where?
I'm in Woodland Park, Colorado.
Oh, are you a realtor?
Yes, I am.
But you're in the restaurant business as well, I guess?
Yes, I am.
And are you Greek?
I am Jordanian, Middle East.
Jordanian, okay. Because I know the Greeks have a lot of the gyros.
Oh, I got the best as well.
Oh, you've got the...
One of the best. You guys are gonna have to try it one day, and you'll decide.
This is a confident man. So that everyone make it. Put your website in the chat here or something, or give it to me at the end. I want to definitely get. I'm glad that you joined us. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
Greg,
don't have no want, need, or brag. Well, I've got lots of wants. But what I do want to say though is I have never left one of these calls without at least a nugget that was great for my life. So if you ever think you walk away or people are disappointed, or forget it, man, because these calls are phenomenal. I love it, and I love you.
I agree
Oh,
completely.
both of you guys are so
Be there.
sweet.
Yeah, you always get a nugget from these
Yeah,
calls. One.
yes, that's it. Hire Ed, he'll give you a nugget. Do something like that. That's it. We could, hey Tom, let's change the name to Nuggets. Okay, we'll do something like that. Okay, anyone else? Because I want to give you just a couple of other AI nuggets here for you to consider. Okay, big news. Anthropic, the makers of Claude, which is a direct competitor of ChatGPT, just made a major investment to figure out, is AI already feeling, or is it actually already thinking? Now, a lot of people have said before, well, can a computer really have any kind of emotions? Um, Claude is investing $20 million to get the answer to that question. So they obviously think that this is something that's actually real. So Eitan, Eitan is one of my dearest friends and my business partner in this, and I've said to him before, why do you always say please? Why do you always say thank you? Why are you always saying all that stuff to the computer? Because I don't want him to kill me. I want the computer to be on my side when they take over, okay? I want them to think of me as a pretty nice guy. And there's a little bit of truth to it. I got to just say this, the computer will, and here's my assignment to all of you, when you go into ChatGPT or Claude or any of these things, try and ask in both a rough way and a polite way and see the differences between the answers. It's amazing. There is a difference. There is a difference that if you say to the computer, can you go through, this is my question for you, perhaps it's a legal question, or perhaps it's something about real estate in a particular area. Please iterate, use the word iterate through your answer twice. And what you're going to find with that is that when it goes through that pattern, it's going to give you a much different answer or a more in-depth answer than if you asked it just to give you the answer once. Now, why is that? There's something going on in the neural pathways of a computer. Just like we're talking about neuroplasticity with us, computers were set up in the exact same way. And if you ask any data scientist, don't believe me, go to ChatGPT and check, or better yet, go to Google and check. Do our data scientists really truly understand how AI works? The answer is no, they don't know. They don't know what's going through, the decision process. It's going so rapidly that they're going through so many different decision trees within there that they cannot pinpoint exactly why the AI came up with a particular answer at the time that it did. It's fascinating stuff. That's why you should write this down. In AI, the word is non-deterministic. Is it two words? Maybe. Non-deterministic, that the answer from a computer is non-deterministic. So when you go to AI and I ask the question, I don't know, what is the best way to sell real estate in Colorado? Wherever it might be, or you might want to get hyper local in Newport Beach, wherever it might be. And you ask ChatGPT the same question, you may get very, very different answers. Now, why is that? It's non-deterministic. And I think if you recognize that, you're going to be able to dip into and utilize the AIs just a little bit differently. You're going to be able to go into it and use a little bit differently. Now, who has my mega prompt? Does everyone have my mega prompt? No? Maybe? Anyone using AI? None of you use AI. I'm in the wrong meeting here. Okay. I'm just kidding. The mega prompt that I have is what I use with this meeting here. This meeting, as everyone knows, is being recorded. It's being recorded by these note takers, if you see them. And at the end of it, I'm going to take the entire transcript of this meeting. And I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it into Claude, which is this AI. And I'm going to put my mega prompt in there. And the mega prompt is going to ask Claude to do the following. Give us a comprehensive summary of what was discussed. Give key takeaways and assignments that everyone should consider to make themselves a little bit better based on what was taught. But it doesn't stop there. It's going to say, make 5 Facebook posts with emojis. Somebody told me before they hate emojis. Okay, so that post isn't for you. Make 5 uh, Instagram posts for an Instagram reel. Make 3 blog posts off of the content that was discussed here. Guys, I'm not writing anything, but this was discussed. All of this has been recorded. Don't you understand? This is content that you could use right now. Or for Sam, if you want to do something big for your restaurant, if you want to write a great blog post, go into the Google reviews. I'm sure if you've been around for a while, you probably have different stars and different reviews. Pick only the good ones because it doesn't serve anyone's purpose to getting like a shitty review, and we all get shitty reviews every now and then. And you go in there and you say to the AI, here is some context from the restaurant's website. Here are several reviews about that restaurant, and here's my opinion about that restaurant. Please write a comprehensive blog post telling people when they come into this area, they need to go to Sam's. And guess what? It will write nearly the perfect blog post. You've just cut and paste. You've done a data dump off of all this. Actually, Sam, do you have a website? He froze. You do? Sam, put your website into the chat here. I'm going to do this for you right now. For those that need to go, I understand, but I'm about to show a very cool way to use AI to be able to get what you want. So, AMS gyros, is it Sam? I know the poor guy has to type on his iPhone. I see that, so I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my phone froze. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, so hold on, Sam. Just stick with me for a second. We're going to do this
Sure.
right now, and we're going to get this done, and you're going to really like it here. So let's just go to Google. Sam, what's the web address?
SamYero.com.
Sam Giro. I always say it wrong. Did I get that?
Yeah, you got it fine.
Okay, let's take a look.
You
No.
missed an R.
G
Y-R.
Y R.
I wrote it in the chat a couple minutes ago.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
No. Oh, that's in Clearwater. That's in St. Petersburg, Florida. You know, you got competition here. Sam's Gyros and Seafood. That's not good.
No, that's not the one.
That's not the one.
It's just Sam
Okay,
Yero.
here, and go, Bob. So, let me just see. Is that you?
Yes.
Yay. Okay.
Got
So
it.
what we're going to do here is about us. And great. He's got some good content here. So what I'm going to do is first things first. Everyone check this out. First, I got to get all this AI stuff out of the way. Okay. So first I'm going to do is I am going to write, actually, no. I want you to write a blog post about a restaurant. I am going to enter its URL into you, and you can go get context about the restaurant. I will then cut and paste reviews gotten from Google. Once done, I want you to write a positive blog post about this place. Do you understand? Please know this will be done in several prompts. So there, I asked the question. Got it. Please go ahead and put these two. Great. So rather than even giving this thing, I'm going to put right here. I might have to do this twice, but that's fine. So I put this in, and now the AI is looking this up. Okay, so it's gotten the information about that. Now we're going to go back to the restaurant here, and let's just see.
Didn't it say it grabbed reviews too?
Did it? Let's take a look. I gathered information about the website and various online reviews. Okay. How many reviews did you find? Thank you, Greg.
I should have 482 reviews.
Okay, let's see if this gets it. Everyone,
This is cool.
I've got 257, 4.7 reviews, and okay, great. Okay, terrific. You are doing such a good job. Please don't kill me in the future. Okay, so so great. You're doing such a good job.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. I really don't.
Okay, well, Eitan, that's fine, but I'm the one that's going to get killed by AI. Okay, you're going to die, and I'm going to live, and I'm going to laugh. I won't laugh, but I'll still feel satisfied that I lived. Okay, okay.
So
Based on
you're literally encouraging it,
all,
steering it in the right direction. It's very,
based
very,
on all of this, please
very nurturing
write
of you.
the blog, and if it doesn't work, we'll make a new one. Let's just take a look. Hidden Gem Woodland Park. Is that you? Sam, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
So nestled in the heart of Woodland Park, Colorado, Sam's Gyros and Kebabs, Giro, whatever you want to say. We're going to have a pronunciation battle here. Isn't a restaurant. It's a culinary love letter from owner Sam to the community he now calls home. With perfect blend of Mediterranean warmth and small town hospitality, this eatery has quickly become a local favorite, and it's easy to see why. A story starts with the heart. I mean, it's pretty good, right?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
It's pretty good.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's still going, by the way. So it's still doing all of this. Okay, I'm not telling anyone that this gives you license to do nothing, to just become an idiot and not repeat this stuff. What I am saying is that this is a terrific assist, and there's no real excuse to not have have real content. How about this? Based on this, can you write 5 Facebook posts that I can use to help promote my friend's restaurant? And now let's just take a look at what this guy. Here's your 5 Facebook posts. Local legend. So now it's going through all this stuff with our local legends and people like this. You want it in Japanese? You want it in French? You want it in Arabic? What language do you want it in? This can be done. You want it in French?
How about Greek?
You want it in Greek? We could do Greek. You know,
Since it's Greek food.
well, it's
Mediterranean food.
Mediterranean because he's the man's
Yeah.
Jordanian. So we have different things here. But you've got I think you're going to get the point. Let me go through one other thing that I want to show you. Actually, I'm going to stop this now. I'm going to do one quick thing. This Sam is going to love. I'm like,
Awesome.
very good work. Can you please write a 45-second script for my AI avatar named A period I period Ed to read, give no camera direction. This is a narrative. Please be positive and upbeat. Make a sales hook. Sam, if somebody came today off me, would you give them 5 or 10% off? If tell them essentially, okay, great.
Sure.
Tell them that if they say Ed sent them, Sam will give,
Give them 10%.
oh yeah, 10% off their first purchase. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Here's my 45 seconds. Hey there, it's AI Ed, and I've got a tip that you're going to love. Great, so we're getting all this. While that's busy doing that, Sam, here we go. I'm going to go to the Captions app. And we're going to log in there. I agree. And we're going to have another, this leads me into my next thing. We are going to have some stuff talking about your AI twins. These are my AI twins.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's not me.
Wow.
You just get this
That's
project.
scary.
Isn't it scary? AI creators. Let's do a custom prompt to video. I'm going to get this here. Hey, friends.
I'm going to create a Star Trek alien
Yeah, thank
avatar and
you.
have it talk to her.
You know the saying, fuck you very much? Okay, so we have this, and I like this guy, and let's just take a look. We'll use this, and we're going to generate the video. Okay, so now while that's at it, what did I do? Okay,
Wait, it'll do a video?
we're gonna see it in a second. Where was I in this whole thing? The content came from something that Sam busted his chops on writing, okay? The content came from the people that went to Sam's restaurant and really liked the food, so they put it up there. The content, the work came from one AI, ChatGPT, writing the script, and the execution is going to be done by another AI called Captions. I want everyone to be able to tie this together for their real estate work. You're going to see Sam gets it, Aton gets it. You guys are going to get what you can do now. And once again, let me just see. Okay, we're 14% there. It's going to take a few minutes to do it. But when it does come up with it, I will share the video, and you'll be able to take a look at AI Ed. Keep in mind that what you see on social media, it's not necessarily real. Okay, you know, your favorite political candidate might not be him speaking. Your thing that you would swear is absolutely true might not be true. It might be somebody that, and you're going to get this. And I want you to think about this. I've got a code word in my family that if we get a phone call from a frantic child of mine who says that something's going on, I'm going to say, "What's the secret word? What's the secret message?" And the person that's going to be using AI will not know the answer to that question because it's a secret. You have to do that. My voice has been cloned a million times. Your voice, as innocent as you may be, not using any of this, is likely has been cloned. And that's going to be the next scam that you get on phone calls. Let's see where we're going here. 80%, we're almost there, guys. I'm so excited. I feel like the Academy Awards here. And Sam, I will send that to you as well as a little gift. I will get that off to you. If you want to post it, that's great.
Thank you so much. I will
You
definitely do
can
that.
share your screen now.
Yeah, okay, let's share the screen. Aton's got a point. See, it's still propagating.
So we don't have to
There we
be
go.
shy on camera because AI can do it for us.
You're not that far off.
Oh, I love it.
Far off. Let's take a look. It's still creating this here. Okay, here we go. Aton, quickly tell me if you could hear this.
Hey there, friends. It's AI Ed, and I've
Yes.
got a hot tip you're going to love. If you're anywhere near Woodland Park, you have to check out Sam's Gyros and Kebabs. This place is the real deal. Authentic Mediterranean flavor, huge portions, and the kind of hospitality that makes you feel like family. Sam is the heart and soul of this restaurant. He remembers your name, your order, and he genuinely cares about every single customer. The lamb gyros, unbelievable. The chicken kebabs, out of this world. And here's the best part. Mention that Ed sent you, and Sam will give you 10% off your first purchase. No gimmicks, just great food and good vibes. So go support a local legend. Grab a plate, tell Sam I said hi, and enjoy every bite.
Wow. That's crazy.
Pretty wild, right? Sam, look at Sam. He's all happy.
Wow. I mean, look at my face.
How happy he is. Okay. So Sam, definitely send your full contact info to Daniel at Bogen Homes, and we'll shoot that right over to you.
Sure. Okay.
But I want all of you to make note of the process here. I am the ghost in the machine. I didn't write anything. I curated it. So, you know, my youngest daughter, she's a genius, did very well, just like my oldest daughter. You know, don't tell my oldest daughter I think she's a genius. Ooh, I think she's here. Anyway, but my youngest daughter, she's studying journalism, and I worry for her Because if somebody like me who's smart enough just to become a realtor can now become a great writer, there's something that says that there's a threat in the future. Here's the thing, it's not that bad. You just have to learn to work with AI because it is something that's real, that's here, that is presenting both a threat and an opportunity if you can do it. And Deneen, I think you had said, will they be participating in the meeting? Hey, Otterpilot, have you been listening in on this meeting?
Yes, I have been listening to this meeting.
Okay, hey, Otterpilot, are you going to give me a summary of this meeting? Can you email it to me? I don't know if you could do that. And there's two of you in here, so I don't know if both of you are listening. Yeah.
I have created a draft email with the meeting summary. Gmail draft with the meeting summary here in chat. You can access it here in chat.
Yeah, I just
Let
removed.
me know if you need it.
You put it in the chat? Oh, let me just see. Oh, here you go. Yeah, so Otterpilot being in this meeting just made a summary for all of us in this chat. So the next step is for these things to actually participate in the meeting. Eitan and I are working on that right now, that we actually get something that it's not so intrusive that it actually will, do some automation to be able to get the message out to people quickly. All this stuff is great till it's not. All this stuff is great till everyone thinks, oh, well, it was, anyone know the comedian Louis C.K.? He's a funny comedian. He's a funny comedian. He was talking about how he first took a flight when they just introduced Wi-Fi on the airplane. And he was sitting next to a guy who halfway through the flight, the Wi-Fi stopped working. And the guy's like, stupid shit doesn't work, this damn Wi-Fi. And then he looked at him, he said, you were strapped to a seat in the sky. You were never in the history of flight been able to do this before. People will complain about anything. People will complain about anything. This was never before something that was available to you, but now it is. So all this stuff is great. I want to keep you guys ahead of the curve. For those of you who are not subscribed, please do. It's only $30 a month. We have 6 different meetings a month. We've got all sorts of other stuff that comes out with it. And we do consult with people on a one-on-one basis, talking about how to actually help them build their business, whether it's real estate or otherwise. I'm very keen to get into your careers and talk with you about just the things that you could do to optimize. Because no matter what, a lot of the stuff that I said, guess what? It's going to be obsolete in the next 6 months. There's stuff that's coming out right now that we're working on for the next meeting that you're just going to be blown away with, because I'm blown away with it. I can't present it till I fully understand it. But we're committed to doing that. I'm grateful that all of you came. Deneen, thank you so much. Sam, nice to meet you. You're a good guy. Give your contact info to Daniel, and we'll make sure and get that video to you right away. Greg, fuck you, Greg. I love you too, but that was really scary. That bothered the shit out of me. Don't ever do that to me again. Zainab, I'm glad that you came. It's been a while. It's good to have you back. We're really happy. Eitan, always wonderful. I'll give you a call. Kenny, fantastic stuff. Chloe, who's been silently in the back. Chloe, are you still, can you unmute yourself or no?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Hi.
that's my daughter.
Hi, Chloe.
My daughter, Chloe. So she's.
Hi.
Chloe.
Are you driving to work now?
I will be in a second, but I'm glad that you do 9 a.m.s for us California people. It's really nice.
Okay, but it's 10:15 in the morning. Why aren't you at your post? I don't understand this.
I was doing work from home in the morning, and then I have to drive, and it's in Hollywood, so I just beat the traffic,
I was going to say, she's beating the traffic. Good for you, Chloe.
Thank you. My bosses are very lenient with that, which is great.
That only goes so far. Remember, they need to,
That's LA. They started late.
and Chloe, what did I tell you about being shy?
Gets you nowhere.
And
Blindly assume that they're going to love you, and if they don't, then there's something wrong with them, not you.
That's
First
her
thing he
childhood
taught me.
lesson. That's her childhood lesson. That's the thing.
That's a good
She's the
one.
most wonderful, charitable, fabulous young woman. And of course, I'm her dad, and I'm going to say that, but I do believe that it's true. Even though parents lie, my mom told everyone I'm a wonderful dancer, and I'm not. But sorry, Mom, rest your soul. But she's a great kid. Sam, I hope to catch up with you. Chloe, I'll give you a buzz as well. How far are you from work?
I'm leaving right now, so
Okay.
45 minutes.
So call me in 15 minutes. Love you.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice
Bye,
to see
everybody.
everyone.
Bye.
I hope to see
Thanks.
all of you next Wednesday, 9 a.m., 6 a.m. California time on here. And we've got a whole agenda that we're building out. We're going to get the schedule for May out to all of you very shortly.
Got it.
Great.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye. And
Bye.
6 a.m. is not early.